What's up, YouTube? This is Mathos97 and welcome to episode number 7 of my SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 General Manager Mode, baby! We're here in Wichita, Kansas for the May 10th edition of Friday Night SmackDown, and as we can see on the match card, we had some matches going down. We had the 6-man tags: Van Dam, Shelton Benjamin, Carlito defeat Orlando Jordan, Rene Dupree, and whoever the third guy was, I didn't see it. Eddie Guerrero, one half the tag team champions, will be taking on The Big Show, who will have Kane in his corner. Edge defeated Chris Benoit in a first blood matchup, so Benoit's, his chances at getting a shot at the United States Championship are really not looking too, he's not looking too impressive as of late. And Kurt Angle makes Triple H tap out in a submission match. So we saw what went down last week with the 6-man battle royal for the World Heavyweight Championship. Kurt Angle, he got chokeslammed by The Big Show. Triple H, though, snuck in and got the pin for the elimination. But now here tonight, Kurt Angle, he's got his victory back. So his opportunity at Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship, well, he's going to be getting a matchup at our next pay-per-view, Judgment Day, after scoring that victory. And I mean, Kurt Angle did get a victory over Triple H at one point earlier on in the series, so he was already #1 contender. That Battle Royal, I mean, he did lose in the Battle Royal, but he wasn't really eliminated by Triple H. He was eliminated by The Big Show, and Kurt Angle, he was given another opportunity because, I mean, let's be fair. If you're a #1 contender, you should get a one-on-one match with the champion. So with that Battle Royal taking place, Kurt Angle was given another opportunity, and he took it. He capitalized on that opportunity, and he got his victory. But now, we're looking at another matchup that has been caused by the events of that Battle Royal as well. During the Battle Royal, Randy Orton, he had been eliminated from the matchup already. It was down to 4 men. Of course, the 3 I had mentioned earlier, and Batista. And what happened was, Orton, he was on the outside. Batista, he was looking good. He was in the driver's seat. And then all of a sudden, Randy Orton, he just attacked Batista out of nowhere. These 2 men were tag team partners, but Randy Orton just stabbed Batista in the back. And that put Batista directly into a pedigree, and Batista was eliminated. And then, of course, after the matchup, during the match, really, after Batista's elimination, Batista just went haywire. I mean, he delivered a Batista bomb to Kane. He attacked Kurt Angle, much like in the same fashion as Randy Orton. That isn't even proper grammar, but whatever. And then Batista, he delivered a Batista bomb to Randy Orton. So here tonight, this matchup has stemmed from the events of last week, of the last episode. So we're going to see these 2 square off one-on-one, face-to-face, man-to-man here tonight on SmackDown. So, I mean, really, to start a rivalry in this game, you have to have your people face off in a one-on-one matchup. So, I mean, normally, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for these 2 to just face off immediately, but that's how we get the rivalry going. So, it's going to have to happen, but you never know. There may be no rivalry. Maybe Batista's just going to get his revenge on Randy Orton right here tonight, or maybe Randy Orton's going to somehow injure Batista, put him on the shelf. I mean, we do know that Battle Royal did cause some fatigue for our superstars, and that was well evident with Kane as he sustained a minor injury, which is why he's not competing in this episode. He's managing, but he's not competing, and that'll probably be the case for Kane for the next 2 episodes following this one. I believe it was a 3-week minor injury. So once that goes down, Kane, we should have him healed just in time for the Judgment Day pay-per-view. So that's good. Nothing too major. We just got to be careful with him and make sure he doesn't compete in some sort of match that can re-injure him. As we can see here, Batista, he's got a sleeper hold locked in on Randy Orton. Oh, no, Orton may be fading here. Referee drops the hand. That's 1. I love this part in SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. It's great. Referee, that's a 2 now. If Orton's hand drops one more time, he's out of this thing. And no, Randy Orton. He didn't pass out. He's still in this thing. Randy Orton, he's trying to fight out of it. And this is always something that doesn't really happen very often. I don't think it ever happens in a match in WWE today. They just seem to have forgotten that that whole rule. Like, the whole thing I never really liked about Rusev and the Accolade was the fact that people just pass out. There is no drop the hand, 1, 2, 3. No, they just pass out and that's it. I mean, I don't know. I always like that sort of system better, where, you know, they have to drop the hand 3 times, because it adds more suspense to things, and then it's actually like a victory. Whereas if they just pass out, I mean, if it's a no disqualification match, somebody gets hit in the head with a steel chair, well, is the match over then because they got knocked out? Big Show's knockout punch, that knocks people out, but yet he still has to pin them for a win. I mean, I don't understand. But, well, okay, Batista, he hit the referee one too many times, because the referees in this game don't know how to stay out of the way. It's been evident in some of the past matches, like that 6-man tag a few weeks ago, where Big Show just, in the end, he was fed up with it. He just took the referee's head off with a big boot, because the referees don't get out of the way. I don't know, they got a death wish or something. I mean, we got these crooked referees, and then we got the one here tonight who just I don't know, does he want to be an in-ring competitor? Do we have a Brad Maddox here? I mean, I don't get it. I don't know what these referees are thinking. But let's just pretend that Randy Orton, he was really frustrated, or Batista was frustrated with Randy Orton, and he, I don't know, had a submission hold locked in or something, or he had Orton back into a corner, and he just wouldn't let up the assault, and he got disqualified. Let's use our imaginations. That's how Batista got disqualified, because that makes for a much more interesting story. So that's what happened. That's what happened. So now we're gonna move on to the main event for this episode, as it is Eddie Guerrero taking on the Big Show. And we did see last week that Big Show and Kane were part of the Battle Royal. Big Show came down to the final 2, and during that matchup he kicked out of a Batista bomb at a 1 count, which was really surprising. I was not expecting that, to be honest. And maybe you were thinking, oh, you're playing as Batista, so you allowed Big Show to kick out. No, that's not what happened. Big Show kicked out on his own. I was just as surprised as any of you were watching that Big Show just kicked out of the Batista bomb like that. I mean, like I did say in the last episode, Big Show, he is a giant, and this was back further in his career where, you know, he was much more in the prime of his career. He wasn't really, old age wasn't really catching up to him at this point. And let's face it, you know, it happens to everybody. Everybody ages, everybody gets old. It just happens. I'm not trying to be offensive to the Big Show, be like, oh, he's old, he should retire. But, you know, he was a bit more agile, he was a bit more mobile around the ring back in these days. And he was much more of a destructive force. You know, you could say he was in the prime of his career at this point. I mean, he had to go back down to developmental for a little while after he made his initial WWE debut, and then he came back, and, you know, that, you could argue that was, you know, he was at the prime of his in-ring career. So this is really the best of the Big Show we're seeing here in this GM mode. As, look at Eddie Guerrero, just look at the torque on the Big Show's arm here as Eddie Guerrero, oh, and look at this, just the pressure, the torque on Big Show's, on that left arm here. Eddie Guerrero, he's got to get a rope break here, referee, up to a 4 count, and Eddie, he's going to utilize the count to its full extent without getting disqualified. And that's what Eddie's got to do. I mean, he's taking on a giant here. It's Big Show, that's smart strategy. He stepped out of the ring for a little bit, collected his thoughts, trying to go back in on the assault, but Eddie Guerrero, he's able to stay on the offensive. And look at this, he's up on Big Show's shoulders here. Whoa, look at that Hurricanrana, taking the Big Show down. And now Eddie, oh, could he be no, he was going to the top rope, but Big Show was rolled out of the way. He sensed it coming. I mean, you never know in a match against the Big Show. You might want to go for a finisher early on. I mean, we saw last week that the Batista bomb almost had no effect at that stage, you know, the earlier, maybe even more the mid stages of the matchup. So Eddie perhaps could have, you know, you have to think he was watching that matchup, because you got to think Eddie, his goal is to be World Heavyweight Champion someday. Throughout this next year, his goal is probably to become World Heavyweight Champion at some point in the future. He is one half the tag team champions alongside his nephew Chavo at the moment, but knowing Eddie Guerrero, I don't think he's going to be content with just being the tag team champ for the entirety of this series. No, Eddie, he's going to want to try to challenge for that world title. You have to think, with some of SmackDown's best being in that matchup, Eddie was watching, and he saw Big Show's performance. He saw how much damage it took to put him away. So it might not be a bad strategy for Eddie to go for a finisher earlier on. Even if it doesn't put the Big Show away, can at least wear him down. As you can see, Eddie still going on the offensive. He's holding his own at the moment. Look at this drop kick to the back of the head. And Big Show's in trouble. Eddie Guerrero's looking very impressive early on in this matchup. But look at Big Show from behind. Sidewalk slam into the mat. And of course, when you're going up against somebody like the Big Show, his moves are going to do a lot more damage. There's a lot more power behind any move, whether it's a strike, a grapple. So while Eddie, he may have to hit, you know, several grapples, several moves to start to damage the Big Show, start to wear him down. Big Show can just maybe hit 2 or 3, and he's going to have Eddie to about the same point as, say, maybe 10 strikes or grapples would from Eddie to the Big Show. But now look at this. Eddie was he was going for a move off the top rope, but Big Show was able to get out of the way of that one. And now Big Show, countered by Eddie. And now look at Eddie Guerrero. Look at this. Going all around Big Show here. Now takes him down with another Hurricanrana. Well, not even really Hurricanrana, more like head scissors. I guess that would be the proper way to put it. I don't know why I thought Hurricanrana. Now Eddie, look at this. Oh, he's got him into a cross arm breaker here. Eddie Guerrero, he's really wrenching it in here. And Big Show, you know, we saw that left arm was really getting worked on earlier. And you can see the damage is really starting to take its toll on that left arm. Not a bad strategy by Eddie Guerrero. Oh, look at that big boot. Same big boot that took out the referee a few weeks ago. And Eddie Guerrero now, he's stunned. He's gotta gather his thoughts. I mean, his brains were just scrambled off that big boot. And now Big Show, he's going to the outside, and he's just letting Eddie Guerrero know that this is his match. Big Show controlling the pace, and that's a smart strategy by the Big Show, but Eddie Guerrero with a low blow. And you gotta think, this is the man who lies, cheats, and steals, and he admits it. He openly admits that as he delivered a low blow there. But this is Friday Night SmackDown. Low blows aren't, you know, that's not going to get a disqualification here. Oh, and Big Show now. Well, turnabout's fair play. Big Show delivering a low blow of his own to Eddie Guerrero. And now just walking over Eddie Guerrero, using him as like a stool, or even like a carpet, just walking over Eddie Guerrero. Oh, but now Big Show counters. There's a knee lift right to the gut, poke to the eye, and he's in trouble. Oh no, Big Show setting him up. He's looking to put Eddie Guerrero away with the choke slam right there. Good night, Guerrero. Covered by Big Show. That's 2. And no! Kick out by Eddie Guerrero. Eddie stays alive. And Big Show, he's furious. He thought for sure that chokeslam was going to put Eddie Guerrero away. But Eddie, he's staying alive in this thing. Oh, but now a big boot by Big Show. As I almost said big boot twice. That was a bit of a tongue twister there. Big Show, though, I mean, he's definitely in control, but you can see that chokeslam took a lot out of him. But look at this, Eddie throwing it all on the line, but Big Show stepped out of the way, and another low blow by the Big Show. Another low blow to Eddie Guerrero. As Eddie, you know, that was his opportunity. Big Show had to step out of the ring and gather his composure. He had to recover some stamina because, let's face it, he was going on the offensive for quite a while, and it was starting to take its toll, and plus the damage from Eddie Guerrero adding up. So that was Eddie's moment to capitalize, but Big Show saw the elbow drop from the top coming. All he had to do was just quickly evade the attack, and now he's got Eddie, but Eddie back on the offensive as he takes Big Show down with a nice face plant. But Eddie, you can see that chokeslam really taking a number on the ribs as he was unable to capitalize. He could have had an opportunity to go for the frog splash there. And Big Show, another low blow. Well, I know this is SmackDown where low blows aren't just going to get disqualification, but Big Show, a second chokeslam to Eddie Guerrero. That's still dirty. Big Show, the low blow into the chokeslam, and that's going to put Eddie Guerrero away. The Big Show gets the win over one half of the tag team champions here tonight. So that could very well line up Big Show and Kane for a potential tag team title opportunity. I know we really haven't seen many teams challenge for that belt just yet. I mean, we've got Edge and Christian there kind of contending for the US title. Big Show and Kane for a while were in the world title scene, and now Orton and Batista seems seems as though they're no longer a tag team. So, I don't know. Big Show and Kane could potentially be facing off against Eddie and Chavo for the tag team titles, perhaps at Judgment Day. So have to wait and stay tuned how that plays out. And as we take a look at the fan rankings at the moment, we're gaining a little bit of ground. We're, not quite caught up to Raw yet. We're still a fair bit behind, but we are catching up. Raw had a 2-star show rating, so that's definitely good for us. I'd say it's probably fair. I mean, taking a look at some of the matches they have, a handicap main event. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I'm one to talk. I've got handicap matches all over the place, but never in the main event. And we got a 3-star show, so that's awesome. We're beating out Monday Night Raw by a full star this week, so that's good. That's good for us. More fans equals more money, equals more ratings, higher ratings, more superstars, more popularity, and victories. If we can win the fan war, we will win GM of the Year, and that is the goal for this series. We are going to crush Monday Night Raw. As Lana would say, we're going to crush Monday Night Raw. So, as you can see, we're going to take another look at the roster real quick. You just saw the rivalries. Chavo and Eddie, they're both feeling confident. They're happy with the recent push they've been getting, with all the victories they've managed to accumulate over the course of the series thus far. So we're going to go ahead and extend their contracts by 5 weeks. Give them a little bit of a morale booster, so that way they're back to being happy. And as you can take a look also at the popularity we got going, a lot of these superstars are going up this week, but then we look at, the lower superstars are going down, which is, that's what we would expect. There are jobber guys. Not Paul London, though. Paul London, I would like to see contend for the Cruiserweight title one day, but we'll have to wait until that happens. But that's it for this episode. I'm going to thank you all for watching. Keep on YouTubing.